Our next topic that we're doing is advertising, and advertising is what everyone thinks about when we talk about marketing. So, the big question, why do we do it? Why do businesses advertise? Basically, advertising is the way for us to do a public promotion of something, of our product, our service, the business itself, an event. Basically, we want to attract or get more interest in what we're doing. Advertisers can go through and get people engaged by using humor, creativity, style, and they're going to go through and use a lot of imagery in order for your products and services to be noticed. Consumers are not going to want to go through and read a 17-page paper about why they should buy a product. They need it to appeal to them in a certain way. So how do we go through and advertise? Well, we use different types of media. Okay, media is basically taking a look at a way for us to communicate. How I advertise on a radio is going to be different than how I would advertise on social media. So TV is a medium. It's going to be a way for us to communicate. Media basically are members of our mass media. Okay, and mass media are channels of communication such as TV, radio, newspaper, social media. Advertisements are going to be delivered to our consumers through mass media. Okay, so what are our types of media that we're going to be using? Well, newspapers. I know that they are declining, but they are still pretty powerful because if it's in the newspaper, it's going to be seen. Magazines, TV, direct mail. So if you ever go get your mail, do you ever find that you're going to get specific things targeted to you, and it's going to be based on what you have purchased? Okay. You also have flyers and postcards that can be mailed to you. Use of radio, billboards. Now, transit, if you live in a large city where they provide public transit, oftentimes the side of buses or trains or inside them is going to be an opportunity for people to advertise or businesses to advertise. You have a captive audience, they look at it, and it's just seen. The other one is going to be jingles. Okay, so jingles are going to be little songs that help you to remember. We also have online, and the amount of online media is actually increasing because of the amount of time that people are spending, especially now with our virtual learning, going through and using on our online medium. Have you ever found that you have been talking about something and then all of a sudden you see an advertisement for it? That's because your devices are listening and they heard you talking about toaster strudel or Pop-Tarts or Legos, and all of a sudden now you start seeing advertisements for it. Okay, so advertising is everywhere that you go. You're going to be seeing it. People wear it. If you look down, your clothes might have advertising on it. Your shoes do. Everything is going to be incorporated onto it. Okay, so when we know that advertising is all around you, buying a car doesn't have to suck. Okay, now that's kind of an interesting concept, don't you think? So you're going to go through, and this can kind of be like a little bit of a shock, but that's what you're going to find is advertising is everywhere. If we were in school, I would have a fun project where we'd walk around school to see all our different types of advertisements, but we can't do that together today. So, persuasion. You've heard about this word before. Basically, it's a way where we have to convince people, and when we talk about it in marketing, we're going to convince them to buy a certain product. Or we want them to believe or act in a certain way. Or it could be to get us to agree upon a point of view. Now, there is a great show that is going to be linked for you to watch for tomorrow, and it's going to be called The Power of Persuasion. It's made by Brain Games, National Geographic. It's a 22-minute show where you're going to go through and watch how persuasion is so strongly used. So go ahead and watch that video. Take some time, just enjoy it. There's not going to be a test or quiz on it. Just go through and watch that. So, what are our most common pervasive techniques to use in advertising? Okay, slogan, repetition, bandwagon, testimonial, appeals to emotion, and expert opinion. Okay, we're going to go through and hit on all of these. So when we take a look at all of them, they have a purpose. So what is the purpose? What are we going to be doing with them? Okay, so let's take a look at the first one. Do you recognize these characters? Hopefully, when you saw this, the company name or these characters, you thought of their slogan. Melts in your mouth, not your hands. Okay, so a slogan is basically a catchy phrase or statement often used to sell a service or a product. So we know that M&M's has that. Now, let's take a look at these images. Anything that you notice? Well, I see the Target symbol everywhere. The red and the white, the red and the white, red and white. Now over here happens to be red and white also, but the whole point of it is we have something called repetition. Okay? In advertising, we use repetition where the name of our product or service is repeated many times. So in this advertisement, it's just the fact that Target is everywhere. Over here, it's the fact that there's a sale going on. Here's some more examples. So head on, if you've ever heard of this product, basically it's going through and it says head on applied directly to the forehead. And it just says it over and over and over again. That is the use of repetition. Actually, here it's the name of the product and how it's used. So repetition is going to be very key. Think you've heard of this company. So what is this? Some of you may think it's slogan, but actually Nike here, it's Bandwagon. Just do it. Everyone else is doing it. Why aren't you doing it? You should do it because everyone else does it. That's kind of what they're going for with this. So Bandwagon is basically a statement that suggests that everyone is using this specific product, so you should use it. Now, do you recognize any of these people? Taylor Swift, Jennifer Aniston. This is called testimonial. Testimonial is when a well-known person supports a product or service. So here we have Taylor Swift with Coca-Cola. Michael Phelps is going cornflakes. So here we have Tiger Woods is supporting Wheaties. So basically, if you were to like any one of these people, you see them advertising this product, you would be more likely to want to purchase it because you've gone from there. Okay, so we have appeals to emotion. Now I have a funny story to say. So appeals to emotion is basically when a person is made to have strong feelings about a situation or a product. So here is an example of an advertisement where we have 18 struggles to live on US $1 per day or less. Okay, so it's supposed to appeal to you, like, oh, or we have this ASPC videos. Now, last year at Christmas, my niece came upstairs after Christmas and she was crying and crying and crying, and we're like, what's the matter? And she saw one of these commercials. So these commercials right here try to appeal to your emotional support, especially those that go through and our animal lovers. The SABC goes through and does a lot of them right around the holidays to appeal to your emotion, to want to try to give money to them. So appeals to emotion is going to be one of the big techniques. Now, when we take a look at here, we have expert opinion. Basically, because experts approve this product, you should do it as well. Okay, 4 out of 5 dentists recommend sugarless gum to their patients who chew gum. So that's going to be what Trident says. Here we have Sensodyne, where they have somebody dressed up as a dentist going through and promoting their product. Here we have the individual who knows a lot about water and is certified is going through and talking about that product versus someone else's. So when we take a look at what we have our slogan, repetition, bandwagon, testimonial, emotional appeal, and expert opinion. Those are going to be the ways that we have advertisement all around you. Now, I want you to think about this. When you're going around and you're seeing various types of advertisement, I want you to think, which one of these does that advertisement to fall into? Okay. So when we take a look at advertisers know how to meet their audience, okay? It's called the target audience. We're going to go through and use appropriate persuasive techniques. So next up, this activity goes much better when we're in class, but we'll see how I can do this online. So here's this advertisement. Here's my question to you. Who's the audience? Who are they trying to get their product? Is it your grandpa? Is it new moms? How about this advertisement? This type of advertisement here is called a tearaway. Basically, it's a piece of paper, and we can see they have all of these different images here. And then you want to take information with you, so you rip off these items, and once they are ripped off, this is what the person looks like. Okay, my question to you is, I went too far, who is their audience? Is it going to be people that are already fitness junkies and working out in the gym? Probably not. It's going to be someone who might be interested in losing weight. Okay, here's our next one. Jennifer Aniston. Now look at this advertisement. It says pure speculation. Now, I don't know about you, if I'm actually going to drink a bottle of water, I don't hold it this way. This is called product placement. But look at Jennifer. If you look, it looks like she's not wearing any clothes. Okay? So are they trying to get a 10-year-old girl to drink this water? I don't think so. I'm going to guess they're trying to target people who would want to look like Jennifer, or even the males to try to buy that product, right? Okay, now what is the purpose of her putting her finger up? Don't tell anyone, right? Like, ooh. And what persuasive technique is this? Do you know? Hope you remembered it. I had it up here earlier. Just look at this image for a little bit. My eye first goes here. I look at that, then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I look here, look in the mirror. Did you see it? Look what's happening. This mirror image is not the same as this. Who's the audience? They're trying to target whom? Ladies who smoke, to see what smoking can do to them in the long term can make them look like this, right? That's the purpose. What's the persuasive technique? Is it slogan? Repetition? Or does it appeal to your emotion? Take a look at this advertisement. Who's our audience? Is it high schoolers? I think with this one, I think they're looking at females, right? Kind of targeting women. This one's really hard to see when I have it blown up, so we take a look at, we have a bottle of Coca-Cola here, we have some grapes, some fruit. Who is our audience? What are they trying to do? All advertisement, you should be able to answer those questions. How about this one? This is a print ad. It was a year ago that I had a heart attack and died. Hopefully that's appealing to your emotions right there. We take a look at who's their audience. guys, right? Look it's a dad and their son. And what's the purpose? They're trying to shock you into like realizing that if you take a bare aspirin a day, it's going to reduce your likelihood of having a heart attack. So what do we know? Advertisers spend about $200 billion a year on TV advertising. And TV advertising is actually declining because more people are doing streaming. But there is opportunities for them to advertise via streaming. Did you know that the average cost for a Super Bowl ad is $5.6 million per 30-second spot? That's Super Bowl. And oftentimes those commercials are only done once. The Super Bowl is one of my favorite topics to cover in my marketing class because we actually spend time watching Super Bowl commercials. Why? Because they're amazing and they're funny. And the average American watches about 24,000 TV commercials a year. The average. I know there's people that watch more or less, but that's a great way for them to go through and get the product in front of your consumers. So this question is going to be popped up, and it's going to be a question that you need to answer in Google Classroom. When you're answering it, please know you cannot say, I don't have a favorite jingle. Okay, if you don't have one, you need to find a jingle that appeals to you, so you need to look it up and know what they are. Okay, is there a slogan for a product that you find yourself saying? You cannot say there is not one. You need to find a slogan, and you can't use M&M's melts in your mouth, not your hands, because that's the one I gave you. Okay, and then answer these other questions there. There's not a right or wrong answer. I just need you to think about marketing and how it's impacted you.